So today is December 26th. I'm going to today talk about Kevin Perlman's behavior. While this is a big topic starting at 29 from Mike Huntley, stating to me that it's my behavior. Sorry, my camera was telling me my car was bonked, whatever, bumper tap or something. So at 29, met with Mike Huntley's I've given you enough rope to hang yourself with. We are using the system against you. It's your behavior was a big one. Singing World of Paranoia over and over while dropping papers on my desk about making people mentally ill to control them, which I've never heard of anything actually like, which would be equivalent to attempted murder. What else? Have a good life now in a very mean, angry way. Like, I'm your friend, I've given you enough rope to hang yourself with, have a good life now. You know, like, gee, thanks. You know, showing Mike Huntley's motive to hunt me down, stalk, and remove me from society, and putting the big emphasis on it's your behavior. Well, first, what does that mean, my behavior? Well, I'm going to get into that in a second, and my voice is my mouth is kind of dry from talking, and from my appointment, and I don't have any water, so if this doesn't go very long or whatever, so be it. But plus I don't have anything specifically written down, although it goes into 40 years of tangents. I don't exactly know what specifically I'm going to talk about, so I'm just going to try to wing that. Well, going back, I'm in Thousand Oaks right now, and I'm on my way back to the Woodland Hills, to the valley, to pick up my truck, which was keyed on the 24th by the dog attacker who keyed my car, slashed 2 rear tires, and on the way home, after filing the police report, he was told to come out and wait for me, yelling faggot and bitch and throwing things at my car, all on video, like his endless barrage of I'm going to try to thug you quiet, with prior death threats over and over on all sorts of video. You're a snitch, you're dead. Him not wanting anything truthful coming out to light, and those he's working with to remove me from society. Now, where am I? He's also the guy that attacked me with this police-trained canine to try to silence me before the death threats, you're a snitch, you're dead, but obviously showing that he's a violent lunatic, most likely someone taking a plea with the police to get a lesser sentence, to try to set me up, working with the corrupt police, because they don't want me talking. Okay, so I gotta pick up that car and deal with that, because this is also similar to the Greg Koenig car tire slashings in 2013, with the keyings all over the car, the convertible cuts through the convertible top, the tires slashed on my Jaguar XKR in 2013, which I sold because I couldn't deal with the amount of costs on repairs were just insane every time something simple broke. Same exact thing, right? Showing a repetitious pattern, and that was done after they had a security guard At the Starbucks on Topanga, attacked me and tried to bash my skull in 7 times, 7 blows to the head, and them not wanting me talking about that, right? So you can see how all these events are progressing and unraveling since 5 years old with the same "you don't talk or we kill you" things going on from one person to the next. Okay, especially Mike Huntley, who's behind all these operations since 14, and is clearly working with the FBI and NSA for these setups, or frame jobs. So now I wanted to talk about behavior, although I really need some water. First of all, what is behavior? Well, when we talk about behavior, are we talking about intricate things? Like, you're 30 years old, you're driving down the street, and you picked your nose and someone saw you, right? Well, that's not classified in the behavior category, okay? Now, Mike Huntley is running around, and he's stating that I have a problem, and it's my behavior, and therefore I can't go out in public because of my behavior. And I'm never allowed to talk to anyone worldwide, and I'm never allowed to have friends, relationships, go to therapists, tell them what's going on, you name it, because of my behavior, right? I'm also not allowed to report crimes against me to the police because I'm crazy and it's my behavior, right? Well, last I checked, a crime is a crime, and I don't know what behavior means. If you're sitting there and someone pulls out a gun and starts shooting you, trying to shoot you, or pulls out a baseball bat trying to bash your skull in, and you go to the cops and they go, "It's your behavior, so I won't help you." What does that mean? The cop's job is not to analyze people or their behaviors, it's to stop crime, right? So whether a cop wants to say, "I think you're crazy," or "you are crazy," or "you have OCD," or "I don't like your hair, it's too long," or "you need to be clean shaven," or "we're not going to help you," has nothing to do with law and order. A police officer's job is simple: stop crime, period. Make sure it doesn't happen. Now, and based on crime, not judgments based on, well, you bought a shirt that someone could get offended by, so we're going to hunt you down from your behavior, is not part of law enforcement. Law enforcement is to either a crime in progress or arrest someone for a crime, right? There's no such thing as "I don't trust you and I think you might commit a crime, therefore I'm going to follow you from place to place, investigating you for 40 years because it's your behavior," right? That doesn't make sense, because if that was the case, every time someone didn't trust someone, they'd be hunted by the NSA, FBI, or whatever, and not be able to go out and live their life. It's your behavior. You went out and you bought a fast car. You have a collection of Lamborghinis and Ferraris. So it's your behavior because you could go out and cause an accident with these fast, powerful cars, right? Well, that doesn't fit the guidelines of law or investigations. There's no such thing as, because you bought 100 fast cars and put them in your private garage or whatever, that it's your behavior and you're being investigated. There's no such thing. Did you jump in that car and plow through someone at 100 miles per hour? Yes or no? If you did, you're under arrest. If you have enough evidence to prove it, you're under arrest. If I feel that you might have, but I've never even met you, it's irrelevant. There's no crime. It's the same thing. "Kevin, we think you killed someone." Well, wait, Kevin, we think you killed someone, but there's no body, there's no crime scene, there's no nothing. It's just your behavior, so we think you killed someone, so we're going to hunt you down and arrest you and lock you away. or put you in mental institutions or jail cells because it's your behavior. Well, wait a minute. Where's the crime? Your behavior is irrelevant. Your behavior can be analyzed 100 million different ways by people with different personalities, and it's all going to come to the same thing. We don't know jack shit, right? That is why the law is based not on behavior, it's based on crimes, okay? Crimes. And the crime of jumping in a Ferrari and plowing 100 people is a crime, and buying 100 Ferraris and painting them all tie-dye or whatever is not a crime. Is it weird? Yes. Is it different? Yes. Is it something that most normal people wouldn't do? Yeah, totally. Is it a crime? No. Can I say it's your behavior? Sure, I can say it's your behavior because I don't buy 100 Ferraris and paint them all tie-dye and put them in my garage. So, it's your behavior. But wait, okay, fine. But what's the relevance? There is no relevance. There are NSA, FBI, police, government, billions of people worldwide hunting me down, saying it's my behavior, as if that's justified. But then, of course, they switch to you're an asshole. Wait, I'm an asshole for what? Holding the door open for you for, I held the door open for you for 30 seconds, but it should have been 45 seconds. I mean, what's the asshole? But, once again, you're an asshole. What's the behavior? Let me tell you, I've met every asshole in the book since I was a young child, and the cops couldn't care less, but if I fart wrong, you're an asshole and it's your behavior, right? They're all coming down to the same things. They don't make sense. They don't add up. I've never heard of the asshole crime with worldwide support to kill you. Does not exist. Okay? I've never heard of it's your behavior crime with worldwide support. Does not exist. Okay, so now let's talk about these behaviors. Well, I built adult websites. And I built large-scale, database-driven adult systems before .NET was developed in ASP code, active server pages. Okay? Is that strange, weird behavior? That's going to have worldwide support kill you? No, unless someone's paid off telling you that we don't want you to build this system, so we're going to pay you off to kill him. But that's not any weird behavior. That's a capitalistic behavior that everyone in the U.S. follows. Other behaviors. Every single girl, stripper, model, in studio photography, every single person at Signet I was extremely professional. Every way, shape, form known to man, did not ask out one single girl, blah, 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 except one girl I said keep in touch to, in a letter after doing a photo shoot with her and providing excellent work. One named Lily Love, that's what she called herself, with all sorts of ulterior motives. She tried to create mental illness, make me look like a violent, paranoid schizo, with my family and the police saying it's my behavior for not being a complete perfect person, then running around saying that I'm a fraud trying to meet women, ignoring all the work I've done, the endless slew of work, the database systems, the adult website systems, all the photo shoots, the amount of time and energy per photograph in each photo shoot. For example, each photograph, some of these photographs could have taken 40 hours for one photograph. Okay, the average studio photographer doesn't spend 40 hours per photograph with their model shoots, right? Okay, so what's my behavior? Well, my behavior is showing that I'm a hard worker, passionate, driven, innovative, unique, and if that sentence structure is not beyond any level of perfect, if every I and every T is not crossed, it's your behavior. And we're going to hunt you with worldwide support, right? Ignoring everything else. Well, how many people on this planet do you know that exert really good behavior, but at one moment in time they break from perfection, being a human being, and show imperfection, showing that they are human, that they have emotion, that they have feelings, emotion, are human, go from happy, angry, sad, expressive, reclusive, sometimes depressed, sometimes extremely outgoing, right? That's a human being. Nobody sits there hovering over you, saying that you had better be a perfect robot, or it's your behavior, or you're dead with worldwide support. It is unheard of. There is no such thing. I'm gonna pause this while I fix the lighting. Okay, it's getting dark out, need light. Okay, so it's your behavior in Kevin Perlman's world. What does that mean? Okay, well, I'm going to tell you what this means. If I go to a coffee shop and rest my foot on a chair reading a book outside, somehow I'm labeled some horrific behavior of resting my foot on a chair with a group of scam artists going, people don't sit that way. Wrong. People sit that way all day and night. As a matter of fact, there's a thing called lazy boy chairs, which like in the 80s or something coined recliners and footrests, and back and like a little, it reclines and a little footrest pops up, right? And every chair you buy for your living room at furniture stores all have footrests, right? People don't put their feet on chairs while reading books. Yeah, bullshit, right? People also don't eat 3 meals a day or sleep 8 hours a day, right? Or 6 hours a day or whatever. Doesn't happen. Sleep doesn't exist. Eating food doesn't exist. Resting your feet on chairs doesn't exist. Or it's your behavior, right? Okay, so what was my punishment for going to a coffee bean and resting my feet on a chair while reading a book? 15 years of people worldwide who see me at coffee shops resting their feet on a chair, or now it's putting one foot up on a chair when they see me. Now, what is their reasoning? It's your behavior, and I'm being punished for this horrific behavior. Okay, so I think we've established from a sane, rational, non-psychotic murderer that behavior not only is perfectly normal, but more importantly, what if it wasn't? What if you did something unique and different, right? How dare you? It's your behavior. Because why? It's not a crime to be different. As a matter of fact, worldwide groups don't hunt people down and try to kill them because you're different. Maybe they don't understand it. Maybe like Aubrey Fisher, who was paid off to hunt me down and have me killed, says I'm weird, but being weird is not a crime, and being weird has nothing to do with bad behavior, right? Everyone is weird to everyone else. Everyone comes from different backgrounds and families, and so unless people are drones, everyone's going to be different to people. They're going to have different intricacies, different mannerisms, right? Some people are going to sit at the table and their hands are going to wave around when they talk. Some people are going to be stone rock solid and not move their hands. And which one is better or worse? None, right? They're just different. And I've never heard someone say, well, if you sat at a dinner table and were expressive, it's your behavior and we're going to remove you from society, is unheard of, right? It doesn't happen. It's like this hat. My father thinks this hat is a crime. What's the crime with this hat? Well, he's linking it to artwork at 16 because he's a paranoid psychotic and a murderer. But how does someone even think that? They're crazy. They're insane. Well, I can tell you now that my family just randomly makes shit up out of anger and rage, and control issues and whatever, and the more they destroy my life, the more they try to cover it up, but the behavior has nothing to do with anything. Well, Roddy Morales and 3 others took Kevin Pearlman to strip clubs, and in my late 20s, I decided I liked hanging out at strip clubs, and I went to strip clubs a lot for years. Okay, what's your behavior? What's the behavior? Where's the crime? Okay, well, the behavior is, I don't like you going to strip clubs. The behavior itself isn't a bad behavior. It's all, granted, it's different. Granted, it's weird. Granted, it's a little darker, and most families don't hang out at strip clubs, but it has nothing to do with behavior. It has to do with approval. Okay? You're my son, and I don't approve, is different than behavior, right? If that makes sense. You're my son. I don't approve of you going to these places. So I'm going to say it's your behavior, and you did all these things wrong, and then I'm going to send people after you, and I'm going to say you did this to your life for associating with shady people, or things like that, right? And then I'm going to say it's your behavior, but really what they're saying in the underlying message is, I'm going to fucking rid you of the world because you did something I don't like. Okay? That's the real message. Not it's your behavior. Okay, let's talk about some of these other behaviors. Aubrey Fisher, introduced to me by Rody Morales. Rody Morales sent after me by my family and the LAPD. Rody Morales was originally my gym manager at the gym Mike Huntley wanted to get me to sign up to so bad. Rody Morales working with LAPD to catch some murderer who had a second life from a different country. In the end, after Rody was taking me to strip clubs, trying to frame me, trying to set me up over and over, trying to make me look like a crazy stalker, abusing women, and things like this, right? Then Rody Morales was trying to get murder confessions from me, right? Now I have newspaper clippings of Rody working with the LAPD, so why was to catch a murderer? So why did Rody want to go to hang out at strip clubs if he was one of these I'm friends with the cops or a undercover Fed, most likely, right? The guy who just disappeared from the planet and pretty much had a fake name, right? Right? Rody Morales wanted to take me to strip clubs. He wanted to tell the world that I'm involved in a murder. But remember, these things keep switching and changing. I'm a pedophile. I'm a murderer. I'm an asshole abusing women. I did this to women. I did that to women. I did the other thing. Blah, blah. The entire time, Rody trying to set me up and frame me, showing that if the guy's got to set me up and frame me or try over and over, then it shows that I'm a good person, because if I'm a bad person, he wouldn't need to set me up or frame me. Right? Now remember, these accusations switch and change in the thousands to get what they want. Now, where was I going? Oh, Aubrey Fisher. So, he introduces me to Aubrey Fisher. Aubrey Fisher is mad that I'm getting into studio photography, so she gets into studio photography, telling everyone I'm competing with her, doing all these things while I was as nice as can be like usual, and welcoming her with warm arms, putting up websites for her for free on the Erotic Ranch database code that I had built. She would call me up asking me to help her for technical tips on her photography, and then telling mass groups that I was harassing her and wouldn't leave her alone. Okay, so what's my behavior? Well, the only argument Aubrey Fisher has, aside from using her name Fisher to try to fish for information while trying to make it look like I'm a violent, paranoid schizo with the police, what is it I've done to Aubrey Fisher? I'm a horrible, mean asshole. It's my behavior. What did I do to Aubrey Fisher? Well, one day Aubrey Fisher asked me to help her with her photography shoots. I'm driving. I'm tapping on the gas pedal with my foot or something, or maybe tapping with my other foot probably. And she doesn't like the foot tapping. Says, Kevin, can you please stop tapping your foot? Sure. And then like 20 minutes later, I'm not paying attention. I tap my foot again. She gets mad. That's it. The entire planet worldwide for 6 years is told to tap whenever someone sees me. Okay, so now I'm a horrible, mean asshole. It's my behavior, and I've ruined her life, right? I've ruined this person's life. So much so that she tells me, Kevin, you should sign up to modelmayhem.com, which I was with onemodelplace.com, and notifies the entire photography, model, entertainment industry to take turns hunting down and trying to kill me using website user databases like the millions of users of Model Mayhem alone to hunt me down and attack me all day and night for years to make me mentally ill and kill me because I'm being an asshole, because when she says, Kevin, will you help me, for close to nothing, I go out of my way to help this person, right? So, who is the asshole, right? Now, what does all of this hinge off of? I tapped my foot around a girl who doesn't like foot tapping, right? Okay, well, if foot tapping by this girl is that bad, right? Then, and she doesn't like me, then she should not call me, right? I don't like Kevin. I think he is passive-aggressively provoking me, so I'm not calling him again. That is the appropriate response. Not someone farted, blinked, tapped their foot by me, and I'm going to hunt them and kill them with billions of government dollars, NSA, FBI, and the entire planet to have them killed because he tapped his foot around me is not the type of person what I'm trying to say is that type of personality is a psychotic murderer, okay? If you tap your foot around someone and a baseball bat comes out and they start bashing your skull in, basically the same thing, they're not a truthful, honest person to begin with, and even if you did dick around with them or fuck with them, is what she's trying to pawn it off as, so fucking what? Who cares? It's harmless, okay? Now, let's talk about another behavior. Another behavior of mine. I'm sending Aubrey a fist. Remember, I'm the guy that went out of my way for her and put up websites for free for this person while she's uploading like a 10-year-old boy without a shirt on asking me questions that try to get the world to think I'm a pedophile and things like that. Okay? And I'm the one going out of my way for this person. Anyways, my point is that obviously she's the asshole or psychotic murderer, and I'm the one being as nice as possible. I'm sending Aubrey Fisher an email. I send the email and I realized I forgot to send some more information. So 10 minutes later, I send another email. Okay, well now I've committed a crime because I sent 2 emails in a time period of like less than 30 minutes or something, right? I mean, shit that you cannot imagine, right? And there is a worldwide campaign to have me hunted and killed because you sent 2 emails in X amount of time. Okay? Well, who thinks like that? Nobody thinks like that. Okay? A psychotic murderer thinks like that. Who counts how many emails you send them per minute or day or month or whatever? An equivalent would be like You walk up to a person and they know every parking spot you've ever parked in, and they're telling you that because in 1 month's time you parked in the same spot a couple of times, therefore it's your behavior for parking in the parking spot, the same parking spot a couple of times in a month, and even a couple of days. What if you parked in the same spot over and over? Who the fuck cares? And then they go, it's your behavior, we're going to rid you of the world. Well, wait, let's break this down. Is it or is it not strange to park in the same parking spot a lot? It's not that strange. I'm just using a theoretical example. Is it or is it not strange if you have people following you around and they have documented data mined information of every parking spot you've ever parked in? Right? Okay, if you're friends with someone who has data mined your life and has archived documented information of every parking spot you've ever parked in, that is freaky behavior. Not you sent 2 emails in 10 minutes or you tapped your foot around a girl, so you're an asshole and need to be hunted and killed with government worldwide operations. But the fact that there's data mined information to twist and contort whatever they can to use against you to have you hunted and killed with worldwide support is the behavior that someone should be worried about. NSA stalking people because they don't like people or trust people. That's the behavior that people should be worried about. Not you picked your nose at 9 years old and 40 years later you need to be hunted for it. You hugged a girl imperfectly and you're an asshole, so you need to be hunted for it. You name it, are all irrelevant things that nobody could care less about. Irrelevant things that nobody could care less about. And so that's the behavior. Not Kevin Perlman farted around a girl, or Kevin Perlman burped or yawned or blinked. Those are irrelevant. Totally irrelevant. Nobody sits there nitpicking things like that. Nobody says that you went on a date and you yawned during the date, so you're an asshole and there's a worldwide campaign to kill you. They say, I went out on a date and I don't like the guy and it didn't work out, right? Now, sometimes they might say, I think the guy's an asshole. Sure, but there aren't worldwide murder operations that have them killed, right? With the asshole crime that's bigger than flying airplanes into the Twin Towers. There's no such thing, right? Absolutely not. No way, shape, or form. So, the whole asshole thing is just another scam like the behavior thing. None of these are weird behaviors. The only behavior is to be hunted and followed by a family hunting down and trying to kill their child. That is the behavior and why they're doing it and what's really going on and the real reasoning behind it. That's the question. So you can take the behavior and throw it in the bin of bullshit. Kevin's an asshole. It's Kevin's behavior. Kevin's a car thief. Kevin's raped women. Kevin's killed people. Kevin is a woman beater. Kevin's this. Kevin is that. Kevin's giving women death stares. None of it exists. It doesn't exist. It only exists to hypersensitive psychotic murderers. You're around someone, you farted, they didn't like the fart, out comes the crowbar bashing your skull with the head, you committed a crime, you gotta leave the country, but before that, I'm gonna fucking bludgeon your skull till you bleed to death and die. And you deserve what you get with worldwide support because farting around someone is an asshole crime larger than murdering 100,000 people. Right? I'm gonna stop this. I gotta pick up my car. get the keys to my car for the slash tires, which should be fixed, and then I'll continue. Okay, some of the recording got screwed up, and now I kind of lost my place or thought. Behavior. We're talking about behavior. Now, what is this behavior I've done? Well, their argument is that my behavior is so horrifically bad that there's a worldwide campaign to kill me. Right? That's their argument. I'm a horrible monster. I'm a horrible asshole. I've done horrible things to every person on the planet. But I don't know of one thing I've ever done to anyone. Now, let's talk about my behavior, but not only that, the demand from my family with the NSA, police, and government saying that I had better be a perfect robot or they're going to hunt me and kill me. Because that's what we're really talking about here. Unheard of situations. If you go out on a date and fart, whether it's intentional or not, I've never heard of a situation where there's a worldwide campaign to kill you over it. Okay? So let's talk about common sense. If you go out on a date and you fart, and there's a worldwide campaign to kill you over it, do you think that that's about your behavior and a fart? Or do you think it's about something else and they're just saying it's about your behavior? Correct? Well, I've mentioned the feet on chair behaviors. I've mentioned the Aubrey Fisher email, which is the crime of all crimes, where people have their heads hacksawed off, which is all perfectly normal according to the judicial system. If you burp on a date, the cops show up hacksawing your head off and shit like that, right? Well, that's what they're telling me. Okay, so nobody would buy that. Nobody would believe that. Okay, so now what's this behavior? Well, I'm going to tell you. The behavior is the Perlman family didn't like Kevin Perlman building adult websites. And so they got mad. And then Kevin Perlman got into studio photography with pretty women. And they got mad. And then it's your behavior. Why? Because I'm doing what they don't want me to do. Okay? So is the behavior right or wrong? No. The behavior is perfectly normal human behavior. It just jives with who they are. Right? And who are they? Well, they're pathological lying, pathological lying, psychotic murderers. And if you do something they don't like, they hunt you and they kill you. Okay? So, back to behavior. What did I do? Well, I built adult websites, which is perfectly legal. Now, it's fair to say that some people might not understand it. They might not like it. They might not want to be around it. I totally understand that. And nobody's saying anyone has to be forced to like me or be around me. But what I am saying is that the United States Constitution of America states that I have these freedoms just like everyone else, and nobody else is being hunted with billions of government dollars for it. Okay, so now, what's the behavior? There is no behavior other than perfectly normal human behavior. What's their behavior? Their behavior is the behavior of psychotic murderers who say, you do what we tell you or we're going to have you killed, and if you put salt on your food, we're going to kill you. Okay, well, there's something called socialism and communism and societies that all broke down because people don't like being tortured and forced into things. And so, people don't like pain, people don't like blackmail, people don't like being forced into things, people don't like being told what to do, and most importantly, people don't like being hunted and killed, watching worldwide support and billions of government dollars hunt them and kill them for crimes of, some girl followed you to a coffee shop expected you to ask them out, which they weren't going to be interested anyways, somehow think that you're psychically going to know that they followed you, and you're psychically going to know that they want them to ask you out, and whether you know it or not, you're not fucking obligated to ask some stranger out. And when they don't get their way, they have worldwide groups hunting you down, trying to kill you, saying that you wrong these people for not doing what they want you to do, right? And while that example might sound strange to most people, these types of things happen to me over and over, and they're not happening to me because these women actually want me to ask them out. It's happening because I'm being hunted and stalked, okay? Example. Kelly Hatch. I must have been such an asshole to Kelly Hatch in high school, right? For her to follow me to Southern Oregon State and have me killed, right? Wait, but that's strange. I never spoke to Kelly Hatch. I never knew Kelly Hatch. I was never remotely in Kelly Hatch's circles. Correct? So, how could I have been an asshole to Kelly Hatch, so much so that the police and government told her to follow me to Southern Oregon State College, hunt me down and have me killed or rid of the world with the police? Doesn't add up. Doesn't make sense. So now, Kelly Hatch is going to try to say I'm an asshole afterwards. But Kelly Hatch would say anything, like everyone else involved in these murder operations, to cover their ass. Okay? Kelly Hatch is involved in a murder operation since 5 years old, like the rest of them. Period. The end. There is no other argument at all. She was hired, paid off to have me hunted and killed with the police. Period. The end. Now these kill operations start at 5 years old, and they have no excuse. But we're talking about their behavior argument, just like we're talking about the Kevin is a pedophile argument, just like we're talking about Kevin is a car thief argument, just like we're talking about Kevin's hacking people, making them mentally ill argument. But wait a minute. None of these things exist. They don't exist. Right? Now, let's once again talk about behavior. Someone comes in your life and they're creating and manufacturing every lie known to man all day and night, 24/7, investing billions of government dollars to distribute worldwide all day and night since 5 years old, riling the world against you to kill you. You don't find that a strange behavior? Is that a trustworthy guy? Hey, I just happen to be in the neighborhood and I'm letting everyone know that Kevin Perlman is a murderer, and I'm going to go from every city and state and country worldwide telling the world this. If you can't see through that behavior, this guy like Mike Huntley following me from place to place all day and night with worldwide support, trying to have me killed, that is not normal behavior, okay? What is my behavior? Hey, Kevin, let's go to some strip clubs. Okay. Well, how many people came in my life saying, Kevin, let's go to strip clubs? 4 people from the age 20 to 30. Okay. So, what was my behavior? What is it that I did? I don't know. What was my behavior? My behavior was, sure, okay, cool. There's no behavior there on my part. Me just being a really good, friendly person. Okay, now we can debate whether people like go to strip clubs or not, or people accept that, but the bottom line is, if you go to strip clubs or build adult websites or whatever, I've never heard of a situation where there's worldwide support trying to kill you for the you built adult website crimes, right? It's perfectly legal. Billions of people do it. Porn stars aren't hunted this way. Hookers aren't even hunted this way, right? Nobody is hunted this way. So, when we talk about Kevin Perlman's behavior, what are we talking about? We're talking about a family, and government says you have to be a perfect robot, and if you even fart wrong or blink wrong, we're going to hunt you and kill you with worldwide support. Now, what does that have to do with the tea in China, other than we're looking for a way to have you exterminated, and do it in such a way to keep telling you it's your fault that we're trying to kill you, just like Adolf Hitler, taking the Jews down in the showers and saying it's to keep you clean, right? It's the same manipulating, we're going to kill you and tell you things to make you think that you deserve it, right? So let me try to think of some other situations. I mean, all these things are the same. I mean, they're all coming from nowhere because they go from here to there, right? It's like, there is absolutely nothing I've done wrong but be an extremely good person. I mean, it doesn't even make any sense, so they have no argument. Hence, they have no argument. Why? Or I should say nothing is said directly. Why? Because they have no rational argument. Okay? If you have an argument, you state it. Okay? Kevin, I think you're an asshole and you provoked me. And what is my response? Well, I didn't mean to offend you, but it's not about you, right? That's how I would respond. But remember, we're dealing with psychotic murderers. We're not dealing with sane, rational people. And because we're not dealing with sane, rational people, right, there's no dialogue. It's just, you're bad, I don't like you, you need to die. You're a bad person, I'm going to kill you. Okay? There is no dialogue. Now, they're trying to turn it around on me. Kevin, you can't see yourself. Right? Well, that's absurd. That's absurd. How did I know, how was I supposed to know that Michael Huntley spent 25 years, next behavior, why does the guy spend 25 years pretending to be your friend while trying to have you hunted and killed? You don't see a problem with that behavior? Okay? If I'm such a horrible monster, why would you want to be my friend? To correct it? To rejuvenate me? Right? Yeah, bullshit. The reason he was sent into my life, is to dictate my life. He was my jailer. And things like behavior are just bullshit and cover-up operations. Okay? So let me try to think of some more of my horrible behavior. 8th grade, Christy Reynolds. Thought she was cute. Couldn't keep my eyes off her. Is that a horrible behavior? No! That is a perfectly normal fucking male behavior. It's like you see the movie, what the fuck was that movie called? With the pop singer, I don't remember the movie. She says that the DJ guy keeps looking at the black girl, or actually it was the guy, but he thinks she's looking at the black girl, and burlesque, and she says he's cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, right? Now, did the guy or girl say that's a death stare like my mother, and try to launch worldwide campaigns to kill the guy in the movie? No, of course not. So why would my mother tell the world that by me looking at Christy Reynolds, it's a death stare? Well, it's not because I did anything to Christy Reynolds. It's because my family doesn't like me. And they will say anything. Anything. We're talking about a family that showed me the movie Wizards at 5 years old to try to figure out how to conform me to make it look like I conform to media. Right? Okay, right there I pretty much established all anyone needs to know. Families don't try to make children mentally ill. They don't try to make them look like violent paranoid schizos. Let's see. I know this conversation is a little jumpy because I'm tired and I haven't really planned to talk about this topic, so I'm trying to remember events that my family would say it's my behavior. Okay, they don't like me wearing green shirts. That's one. If I wear a green shirt, I've wronged worldwide groups and it's my behavior. Well, how is wearing a green shirt wrong anyone? More importantly, when I moved to Southern Oregon State College, Ashland, Oregon, I was walking around the town and I went into like a t-shirt joke shop and bought a t-shirt that said Lord's Gym. Lord's Gym with Jesus bench pressing a cross with like his hands bleeding and the cross on his back, and on the back of the shirt it says his pain your gain. Okay, after this, Eric Christensen with Sherry Christensen are told to befriend me from the Diamond Dorm while I'm in Emerald Hall from Diamond Hall, both at the same time with Christian. And somehow, Kevin's an asshole because he bought a joking shirt, which is a public shirt, sold to millions of people, and they took offense because the Christian reference, which, who knows if they're even Christian, they're just using the Christian last names, saying that I'm an asshole because they don't like my shirt. Well, let me tell you, first of all, that shirt is not an asshole shirt. It's geared for human beings with senses of humor. And while I'm not going to tell you that there's some nutballs out there that get offended by every fucking fart in the wind, which are usually locked away in cages, but it is not a crime to buy a joking shirt. It's a crime to hunt down and kill people, especially with worldwide support, because someone doesn't like your shirt, just as it's not okay to rape women because their clothes are too sexy or their shirts or their skirts too low or something like that, right? Okay? My point is that people wear joking shirts all day and night and they're not labeled assholes with billions of government dollars to have them killed. Okay, so is it my behavior to buy a joking shirt that christianbook.com sells today? You can right now go to christianbook.com, buy this Lord's Gym shirt with all over the world. You can buy this shirt sold worldwide. It says Lord's Gym. I've seen other people wearing these shirts, right? Are they being hunted by billions of government dollars with the behavior crime? No, of course not. Because you know what happens? People generally walk down the street and they go, oh, that's a funny shirt, or I don't like that shirt. And that's it. That is it. At what point are people allowed to act out in anger and rage and kill people, and they go, well, it's his behavior because I don't like his shirt, right? Okay, so I'm being hunted and killed over a harmless shirt nobody could care less about. I'm being hunted and killed for tapping my foot around Aubrey Fisher, who was sent after me to begin with by the LAPD to have me killed. I'm being hunted by Aubrey Fisher because I sent more than one email per hour. I'm being hunted by Rodi Morales, pretending to be a girl named Julia Sophia Reynoso off IRC, switching up, pretending to go from normal to crazy to I refuse to give you any information on the internet about myself showing that I'm a trustable person, and then expect me to drop my entire life for some phantom ghost piece of text as if I'm insensitive and not going out and buying the $1 million mansions from some random piece of text off the internet no fucking sane person in the world would trust. Example, you meet someone on IRC, they text you about their life, how the fuck do you know who they are, right? All of a sudden, years later, I find out, like 10 years later, I find out that this girl is actually Rody Morales, some guy working with the feds and cops, hunting me down to have me killed. And their cover-up argument is, their cover-up argument is that I'm an asshole to this Julia Sophia girl who has completely treated me like utter shit, pretending to be crazy and pretending to be suicidal, right? But refuses to meet me, talk to me on the phone, give me her phone number, show me a photo, or anything else, right? Now, whether some girl's claiming to be suicidal, she's claiming to be a porn star, she's claiming to be a model, she's claiming to be anything, she's claiming to be some hungry girl in the Ukraine that needs $1,000, I don't fucking know. So what is my point? Is this about me being an asshole and insensitive? Or is this about some scam artist trying to steal my money or set me up, right? Well, this scam artist female was a guy, and her name was Rody Morales. And when I told her, you could be a guy, I don't know who the fuck you are, years later, Rody Morales came in my life, hunting me down, taking me to strip clubs, and working with the LAPD. Okay, so what's my point? My point is that no fucking person is going to trust a random piece of text they don't know on the internet. Then that random piece of text hunt you down with billions of people saying you're insensitive and you're an asshole. Okay, well, yeah, you're right. I am insensitive to scam artists hunting me down, and I have no reason to trust some random piece of fucking text off the internet. And the amount of pieces of text that I've had stalking me since 1994 alone, way the fuck before this one Julia Sophia Reynoso police murder operation, is endless. So if you're watching random person after random person hunt you down and try to scam you, kill you, set you up, what reason do you have to be nice to some random piece of text pretending to be a porn star, a model, or even suicidal? It's just a fucking piece of text. And what I mean by that statement is that if I'm not fucking friends with you, right? If I'm not hanging out at your house, or let me rephrase it. There's a context to situations. If I'm your friend, a legitimate friend, and I'm over your house and you're suicidal or you're having money problems or this or that, I'm going to be like who I always was, Mike Huntley. Mike Huntley tells me that he can't afford to stay in our company because we're not making enough money. So I give him my personal money so that he can stay in Signet. Now, Mike Huntley I'm an angry, enraged murderer who tried to choke him and is acting out in anger and rage. That's Mike Huntley. But yet here I am, going out of my way. I'm devoting my life to the company he wanted to start. I'm giving him money out of my own pocket so that he can stay around. And Mike Huntley's argument is that I'm some insensitive, horrible, mean asshole. Now, what's the difference between Mike Huntley and Julia Sophia? Well, Julia Sophia was not a person. She was a piece of text. And while on the surface, that might kind of sort of sound insensitive, but let's be realistic. Let's be honest here. How many of you get emails or messages saying sign up to this website and put in your credit card here, or send me money, I need help. Right? We all get these. We all get emails that state, send me money or I need help. Okay, now what if I were to tell you, what if someone sent you an email message, I live in the Ukraine, my boyfriend beats me, I'm going to kill myself, can you please send me $1,000? And you go, fuck that, that's a scam. Right? Now, I guarantee you that every single one of us would say, are you fucking crazy? I'm not sending this random fucking email text money because they say they're suicidal. Okay, so now we have Julia Sophia. What's the difference? She's on IRC. We got some girl on IRC posing to be whatever the fuck she's posing to be, and she wants money and she wants me in her life for some reason, but she's unwilling to give out any personal information. Okay? Well, in order to gain trust, you have to give trust. Correct? If I come in your life and I'm wearing a fucking mask with guns on and shit like that, and I say, trust me, you're going to say, fuck you, I don't trust you. And then I'm going to say, well, it's that guy's behavior because he doesn't trust me. Well, wait, yeah, of course you're not going to fucking trust you. You got masks and guns on and shit, right? Okay? Well, it's the same thing. Some piece of text on IRC pretending they're to be porn stars or models. Yeah, you know what? I've seen it 1,000 fucking times. Okay? The internet is built on that one scam alone. So, now, what is their argument? Kevin's insensitive and he's an asshole. Okay, so now we're going to send Rhodey to come after him. And Rhodey's going to take him to strip clubs where they're going to hunt him and kill him. And the lame excuse is, well, you treated a girl like shit. Oh, yeah, okay, that's it. That's what it's about. Sure. But what about the thousands of setups before that? What about Skylar saying that she's Julia Hayes and she's a playmate and porn star, right? Skylar, before that. And then Skylar working with the cops and all these setup operations to try to make me look crazy, right? That was way before that one. What about Christina Stalinsky asking me to meet her in San Diego with these setup operations to try to get me mad at her, which didn't work? What about the girl who on the internet way before Julia Sophia who told me she drove a Jeep like Kelly Hatch and told me to come over to her house and don't knock, just come in. And I go over and I knock and a black guy opens the door and it turns out she doesn't live there, trying to set me up for breaking and entering and to have me killed, right? Okay? Now, these are just a couple of examples of this endless crime spree with the police that are being didn't kill. But now I want to go back to the behavior, right? Let's talk about behavior. Now, apparently, this behavior argument, right? The behavior argument. What is it? Kevin Perlman must exert perfect robotic behavior or the world will collapse, but everyone in the world can do whatever the fuck they want to Kevin Perlman. Okay? Last I checked, behavior is based on what? All of us. All of our behaviors. Correct? Okay? Is Kevin Perlman's behavior important? Right? That's the question. Is Kevin Perlman's behavior important? Sure. I need to exert good, proper behavior within the guidelines of normality. Yeah, of course. But things like buying a Lord's Gym shirt or tapping my foot around a girl have nothing to do with behavior. But more importantly, what about everyone else's behavior? Example, Kevin Perlman is never allowed to rest his foot on a chair his entire life or he will be hunted and killed by billions of people worldwide with billions of government dollars. Right? Okay. So, what about their behavior? Right? Because this behavior, I want to make a simple point. If your argument is that we all must exert good behavior, that applies to all of us, not just Kevin Perlin. So, if you don't like that I rest my foot on a chair, which nobody could care less about, and your behavior is to launch worldwide murder operations to have me killed, which actually started 5 years old, what about your behavior? Isn't the behavior of hunting down and killing someone for resting their foot on a chair 100 billion times worse than resting your foot on a chair, even though nobody could give a flying fuck if you rest your foot on a chair? Or, more importantly, someone sends you a scammer email, which you don't want to send them their blackmail money, or some girl posing as the predator. Oh, poor me, you got to do what I say. And if you don't, you're an asshole, and we're going to hunt you and kill you. Well, it's not a crime to be an asshole, even though I'm not an asshole. But hunting someone down and killing them, over the you're an asshole crime, which is larger than killing 100,000 people, nobody sees the behavior problem in that, right? So, what is my point? My point is that the very hypocrites that spew out things about behavior, especially the police, government, and my family, are not concerned with behavior, nor is their behavior okay or acceptable, nor have I done anything wrong, and they have. Right? Does that make sense? It's your behavior because you rested your foot on a chair, so we're going to hunt you down and kill you, and hunting down and kill you, that behavior is not wrong. Okay? So, we can all see through all that. This has nothing to do with behavior. Let me throw in another analogy so you can understand better from where me and my family are coming from. Let's say I ask out a girl with tattoos and silicone tits. We go to the beach and I kiss her. My family would say that my behavior is unacceptable and there's worldwide groups to hunt me and kill me. Okay? Now I can guarantee that if any one of you were to date some silicone-titted, tattooed girl, nobody would be running around saying it's your behavior. They'd be saying, good for you. Are you getting any? Right? That's what they'd be saying. Not it's your fucking behavior. Nobody would say that. Maybe in the 1920s, where, like, if you went back in a time machine with some girl with and brought this hot girl with silicone tits and tattoos back to the 1920s, maybe people couldn't deal with it, but there still wouldn't be a worldwide murder operation over it. You understand what I'm saying? There's no behavior. It's all a scam. All these things are scams. Oh, poor Julia Sophia. I didn't get what I wanted. You didn't date me and buy me $1 billion house before I ever met you, right? I mean, what is it this girl wanted? She wanted me to send her, like, checks in the mail before ever even meeting her. Right? She wanted to sit there, meet me on IRC. She wanted to meet me on IRC, say, you can't talk to me on the phone, you can't know who I am, you can't meet me in person, send me a check for $1 million because I'm your friend, and if you don't do that, oh poor me, you're an insensitive asshole who's made me try to kill myself and things like this, right? I mean, it's blatantly obvious because people don't do what's being done to me, and they don't come after people for not giving a shit about them if they won't let you in. Does that make sense? If you don't let me in your life, then I'm not in your life. But that's your choice, not my choice. I mean, unless I don't like you. But whatever. But my point is, if I say let's meet, let's go out on dates, and you go no, absolutely not, and then you want that kind of emotion back once you tell me I can't have anything from you, then it has nothing to do with hate, anger, revenge. It has to do with reality. Is if people don't allow you if you don't know someone and they don't want you in their life, then you're not in their life. You can't do anything for them. You can't do anything for them this way or that way. You can't be sensitive or insensitive. You're not in their life, right? Okay, well, like I said, that's like 1 out of thousands of these frame jobs, right? And, okay, let's theoretically say, okay, this is it. Once again, let's theoretically say that I was insensitive towards a person. Okay, let's use this argument. Kevin Perlman was an asshole to someone. Okay, well, I'm 46 years old, and no matter what's been done to me for 46 years, I have been the nicest motherfucker known to man to everyone in my life. Okay, now, if you ask me if I'm a perfect robot, I will be honest, I will say no, fuck no. I am not a perfect robot. Have I been once in a blue moon, like once every 10 years or something, you know, once every year, once every 10 years, have I once in a while been mean or rude? Sure, once in a blue moon I'm mean or rude. Have I exerted moments of happiness, sadness, depression, anger, upset, reclusiveness, wanting to be social, things like this? Hell yeah, because that's what humans do. They have emotion, they have expression, they go out, they're people. Some days people are angry, some days people are sad. Some days you're around a girl and you're unintentionally kind of rude to her, mean to her because you're in a bad mood. It's not about her. Some days you see someone and they just annoy you, and maybe you say something to them even though that's not me. I don't really do that. I've seen people do that. But people do these things. People do these things all the time. There's not worldwide groups. So, what's my point? My point is that in 46 years, I have consistently showed that I am the nicest, most stable, most reliable person who has gone out of his way for every person known to man. I have been there. I have given. I've given to everyone in my path. I gave at the office, literally. You name it. I was there for everyone. I gave and I gave and I gave, and I worked my ass off and I gave to the world. And now they're trying to say that I broke and I'm a horrible, mean person and I did all these horrible things. Doesn't exist. But my point is, if for 46 years, even with worldwide murder operations, I have been the nicest motherfucker known to man, 46 years, and once in a blue moon, I deviate from imperfection, okay? There is worldwide campaigns to have me killed, And for you farted wrong, you blinked wrong. It's your behavior. Well, what's the behavior? I don't know what the behavior is, because the message is that, and I have video footage of the cops, we're watching you, the message is that you had better be a perfect robot since 5 years old, or we're going to hunt you and kill you with worldwide resources. And if you go out on a date and you yawn, the NSA, FBI, and worldwide support are going to kill you for asshole crimes, or it's your behavior because you yawned wrong. Okay? Now, if you ask anyone on this planet if they've heard of something like that, and they're honest people, they're going to say, I've never heard of anything like that. That's fucking insane. There's no such thing, right? Okay, so what does that mean? What is this behavior crime? It doesn't exist. What is Kevin Perlman's behavior? Being the nicest motherfucker known to man. Why is there a worldwide campaign to kill Kevin? Because of his behavior? No, of course not. My family didn't want me getting into the adult industry. They didn't want me getting into the entertainment industry. They flipped out in anger and rage because I played pool, trying to say that playing pool is shady. They went through every aspect of my life using it against me to try to have me hunted and killed with worldwide support. What is my behavior? My behavior is doing the same thing everyone else in the world does. Example, everyone goes to coffee shops. What do people do at coffee shops? They socialize, they get work done, they sit out, watch the fucking sunset, and sip on fucking coffee, right? Well, I'm told I'm not allowed to go to coffee shops for 20 years now of anyone in the world, and it's my behavior. Well, what did Kevin Perlman do at a coffee shop? He read his book and I read a book and I rested my feet up on a chair, which they say is a crime, and then they jumped from fiction to fiction, saying it's my behavior. But what's the real behavior? Because everything they fabricated are intentional lies. So what's the behavior? If everyone goes to the coffee shop, socializes, gets work done, hangs out, or sips on coffee looking at the fucking sunset, and Kevin Perlman goes to coffee shops, getting work done, socializing, sipping on coffee, and watching the sunset, I'm doing nothing different than anyone else, right? So what's the behavior? Okay, they have no argument. Well, now, after 20 years of having people attack me and have me hunted and trying to be killed, they're trying to say things like I've supposedly masturbated in their bathrooms. Do they have proof of that? Do they have the little perv spy cams? Because I've never seen me masturbate in the bathroom. Have they? And if they have, what is it that they're doing in these coffee shops by putting fucking spy cams in bathrooms? Then, of course, their lie changes to I'm masturbating in public, right? Okay, so what's the behavior? There is no behavior. It's their behavior. Do they have proof of any of these accusations? No. But yet these accusations are worldwide. Okay? Example. Let's say you walk into a Starbucks like me, and one of the employees doesn't like you. So he says, well, Kevin Perlman's masturbating in our bathrooms, right? Okay? These things happen. He doesn't like me, he makes up a lie. But wait, there's a whole facet here that doesn't happen. You go to a coffee shop, he makes up a lie, Kevin masturbated in the bathroom, and Kevin masturbated in the bathroom, and then magically it goes to every coffee shop worldwide, right? And the entire planet's trying to have you killed. under the notion of someone might have masturbated in a private bathroom where there can't possibly be any proof of, right? That's the argument. Now, how does this go worldwide? Okay? I can see a local situation. I don't like that guy, he can't be here, which is known as discrimination. But this is fucking worldwide. Billions of people will follow me to every coffee shop or public place worldwide trying to have me killed. Under what? The notion that I might possibly have masturbated inside of a bathroom? Does that make any sense? No, it doesn't. It makes no sense. Even if it were to be true, nobody would give a flying fuck. Right? That's my point. Just like tapping your foot around Aubrey Fisher, let's say I was dicking around and fucking with Aubrey Fisher and I tap my foot around her and there's a planet full of people trying to have me killed. Does that make any sense? No. Okay, so now let's go back to behavior. If you're around a girl and you tap your foot by her and your mother, father, brother with worldwide support are hunting you to have you killed for tapping your foot around a girl, whose behavior? Who's the one with the behavior issue? Right? It's not my behavior issue, it's their behavior issue. They're following you around. They're ratcheting down more and more, tighter and tighter. You can't blink wrong, you can't fart wrong. You parked in the spot twice in same spot twice in 1 year. That's illegal. When you hugged a girl, you squeezed one little millimeter too tight, and so you tried to kill her, right? Well, have you ever tried to be around people where they keep nitpicking you and micromanaging every aspect of your life with the NSA, FBI, trying to crack down, ratchet down more and more? You blinked wrong, you farted wrong, you yawned wrong, we're going to hunt you and kill you. And the more they hunt you and kill you, the more you start to react, right? And the more you start to react, the more they react. Oh, that's inappropriate behavior. You screamed when I shot you with the gun for tapping your foot around a girl. You screamed and you broke the noise barrier. So now that's inappropriate behavior because your decibel level of screaming from me putting bullets in you is too loud, and it's your behavior because you're disturbing the community by screaming, by us putting bullets in you. Wait, but what about their behavior? What about you putting bullets in me for tapping my foot around you, right? Obviously nobody's put bullets in me and shot me, but it's an analogy to get a point across that all the things going on are the same analogies to have me hunted and killed. Okay, so I want to go deeper. I mean, I could pick from a list of a million of these fabrications given to the entire planet to have me killed. But I'll just pick one because I mentioned the master Starbucks lie with Coffee Bean and their worldwide scams that I've supposedly masturbated in their bathroom or in public, or remember, their lies keep changing on a daily basis, so it's blatantly obvious from their behavior that they have to keep fabricating newer and newer lies to meet the agenda to have me killed since 5 years old. But I'm going to nitpick one of these things because I want you to understand the level of communication and information flow from a family using the excuse, I want you to have a normal life. Kevin is a danger to himself or others and has self-control issues. Kevin is bipolar. Kevin is schizo. Kevin is agoraphobic. Kevin has anxiety issues. Kevin has nervous problems. It just keeps fucking changing on a daily basis. From this to that to that to the next. So, I want to just use this one for example because I mentioned Kevin Perlman supposedly masturbated in the bathroom. Okay, well, where does this come from? It's got to come from somewhere, right? I mean, when these people start hunting me down, trying to get whatever they can to use against me, it's got to come from somewhere. Well, where's it coming from? Well, remember in some of my past segments I talk about Tom Farley introduced me around, who knows, 6 years old, and sent after me or told to hunt me down and stalk me. Tracy Picos, working with Tracy Picos when I thought Christy Reynolds was cute, trying to turn me into a violent paranoid schizo, trying to make it look like I'm full of anger and rage, right? So Tom Farley, not only was Mike Huntley sent after me for 25 years alone to hunt me down and have me killed, but Tom Farley was working on me for about 30 years, okay? 30 years, okay? Now remember, this jumps from one person to the next, and there is zero wiggle room, zero room for tolerance, less than 1,000,000% room for tolerance, okay, in my life since 5 years old. What did I do at 5? Well, I probably didn't breastfeed perfectly. Okay, so Tom Farley, they send Adriana Olivares after me to have me killed or removed from society. Who sends her after me? Well, my father, with Lorena Escobar, bring in Adriana Olivares, and Adriana Olivares is obviously working with the feds and my family to remove me from society, but it's not that simple. What was going on was my family was trying to force Adriana into my life and basically blackmail me into dating her, marrying her, and having kids, so that they could control who I was dating, who I'm friends with. Because remember, all of my friends growing up were my jailers. So while Adriana was running around the office saying, I'm going to get the doctor's son, not meaning as a trophy, meaning that they were going to hunt me down while my father tries to force me into something, with Lorena Escobar, I make a decision based on Adriana's personality that I don't really want her more than friends or on a relationship level, which was a very smart move with good instincts on my behalf. Well, they don't like someone like me with good instincts, right? That's a big no-no. Okay, you know, when you're trying to rape, pillage, kill, and rob someone, they don't like the smart people, right? That's the point. Okay, so I start introducing Adriana to my friends, Paul Humphrey, Tom Farley, each of them working some angle to work on my personality, trying to make it look like I'm an asshole, right? All these lame psychological tests, things like that, to try to get me to say things to use against me, which didn't work, or they sort of take half-truths, right? Things that don't really apply to anything. But they want it to look like they want it to look, because they have motive. So Adriana eventually starts dating Tom Farley. Were they really dating? I can't tell you. It looked like it, but they both had ulterior motives to remove me from society. At one point, Tom Farley says to me, but she's yours. And I'm like, what the fuck is this guy talking about? She's mine. Like, how is Adriana mine? Did I miss something? We're not dating. We're not married. How is she mine? Don't know. He's working on some angle. Tom Farley meets Adriana Olivares. I introduce him to Adriana Olivares. They start dating. I kind of like a girl named Maria that's working at my father's office. So we go out on a double date. seems pretty harmless, right? I mean, in your life, if you go out on a double date, are you hunted by worldwide groups for farting wrong? Okay? So in my life, you need to understand that no matter how perfect that date goes, something is going to be taken to rile the world against you that nobody would normally care about. Okay? That's the point. Maybe you chewed your food with your mouth open once, and so it's your behavior, and there's worldwide support to kill you. Okay? Now you're going to say, that doesn't make sense and that's absurd. And I'm going to say, you're right. It is completely absurd, but it's happening. And it's not happening because I would have chewed my food wrong. It's happening for a whole set of different reasons that nobody wants to talk about. So we go out on this date. It's down in Santa Monica. I think we're at an Italian restaurant. Okay, so we're at an Italian restaurant down in Santa Monica. And I got like these fucking, I'm sure everyone goes through this. I had like this nasty cramps and constipation, right? Okay, so like the one time in my life, like once, that I'm out with people and I got this nasty fucking constipation and I fucking go in the bathroom, I'm in the bathroom for like fucking 20 minutes, probably not that long, probably more like 10 minutes, and I come out and it's like, are you okay? Blah, blah, blah. Okay, that's it. That is it. Okay? Now, if that happened to you, do you think that there would be worldwide campaigns saying, this person has no self-control and he's masturbating in the bathroom and this and that and the other thing? Do you think that that would happen to you or anyone else on this planet? No, of course not. So, what is my point? My point is that imperfection in my life cannot happen or I'll be hunted by the NSA, FBI, family, and worldwide support. Okay, well, do you really think that that's about lack of self-control? I have shown no lack of self-control. I have shown nothing but control. I've had 4 people in maximum security threaten to shank me in less than an hour. I showed complete control. I had people trying to thug me in jail, doing this and that. I showed complete control. I've had thousands of people per hour showing at coffee shops for 17 years straight, every single day of my life, and everywhere else I go. I have shown nothing but control. Okay? So now, why would my family say this? Okay? Well, first of all, did Tom Farley see me masturbate in a bathroom? Right? That's the first question. Did Tom Farley see me masturbate or not? No, he did not. So where does he have the right to go around saying that I masturbated in the bathroom? Now, okay, I'm not going to tell you gossips, drama, and assholes don't exist, but remember, when Tom Farley says Kevin Perlman masturbated in the bathroom on a date, which is complete fabrication, when he says these things, they don't go to a couple people and nothing's directly said, right? It's like Aubrey Fisher and tapping the foot. It goes out to the entire planet saying you can never go to a public place or a coffee shop in the world and you have to stay in your home in a cage for the rest of your life. and never associate with any person ever, even on the internet. Okay, well, doesn't that sound a little drastic and strange? I think you masturbated in a bathroom so there's a worldwide campaign to kill you. Do you really fucking think it's about masturbating in a bathroom? Hell fucking no. Wait, but didn't Tom Farley also claim that by thinking Christy Reynolds is cute in 8th grade, it's a death stare and he's going to have me hunted and killed with the government and my family? Yeah, so wait, is it about a death stare or is it about masturbating in a bathroom on a date? What else has Tom Farley said? He also says that I'm abusing and harassing women. But I caught Tom Farley trying to set me up and manipulate me into treating women like shit. Do you think that's a little strange? Wait, the guy that says I'm masturbating in the bathroom is telling me to harass women, which doesn't work. Right? Wait a minute. Now remember, I mentioned all these other things Tom Farley did. Stealing the skateboards, pinning it on me with Richard Grunberg. Egg mobbing Eric Johnson, pinning it on me. Egging cars, pinning it on me. All growing up. So now we're talking about Tom Farley. Tom Farley following me on the internet to University of Colorado, stalking me, all these things. Okay. Now, there's all sorts of important questions. When Tom Farley makes up a lie, how does it magically go to billions of people worldwide? Okay, these are the important questions. That is not normal. Tom Farley's not talking, I'm not turning on Fox News and seeing, oh, Kevin Perlman masturbated in a bathroom. It's being stealthily disseminated across the internet on internet-built government stalking channels, right? Okay, well, that needs to be explained. Those aren't normal. Those aren't people who are concerned. Those are murderers. Murderers working with the government and psychology community on murder operations. Now, so you can understand through a pattern of behavior from Tom Farley alone, as well as all the others working with them in my life since 5 years old, that they all have motive and agendas. Whether it's the Kevin's an asshole, whether it's the Kevin has lack of self-control, whether it's a death stare, these lies are literally in the thousands to the world. Okay, so drawing a blank for a sec. I'll get back in a sec. So remember, Tom Farley, he spent all day and night for 30 years working on me. I mean, his stalking operations are just endless, working with Paul Humphrey, Mike Huntley, all of them all working together, and he will say and do whatever it takes to silence me and try to keep me quiet for all the things he's involved in for trying to have me hunted and killed with these mass groups. But you get the point, is that this isn't about me. This isn't about anything I've ever done wrong. It is about the behavior of psychotic murderers that don't like you, and when you're around them, they try to dictate your life. And these orders start from my family, and then they go to the police, and then they go to the psychology community, the government, NSA, FBI, but it all comes down to the same thing. What the fuck have I done? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. So, when they say it's my behavior, it's not my behavior. It's their behavior. Everything points to their behavior. If I'm being the best person known to man, it's their behavior. And if they're trying to dig up things from 4 years old and use them against me, you don't think that's strange behavior? Hey, Kevin turns 29 and he starts to notice something's really fucking wrong with his life, right? I mean, at 29, I was like, what the fuck is going on? And they start sweeping in how something's wrong, you got sick, you better do what we say or we kill you. You better not ask any questions, you better not do this. Well, you know, when we're talking about robots and humans, human beings have emotions, and one of those emotions is called curiosity. And when you're sitting around a room full of people that want you dead, and you don't fucking know what's going on, and you start to see what's going on, that curiosity emotion, or wondering what the fuck is going on, is a perfectly normal self-defense mechanism in all the human beings. And for my family to sit there and fucking sit there and go, there's a problem with you because you notice what's going on and you better do what we say or we're going to lock you away in jail or mental institutions, is a behavior of a psychotic murderer. Okay? Nobody would ever tell you that. Normally, your family would not say things like that or do things like that or act out with their actions and things like this. Okay? And normally the police wouldn't help them with the psychology community. So, behavior. Whose behavior is it? The only thing I've done is turn 29 and find out that my family were basically psychotic murderers and launched a worldwide campaign to put me away for reasons at 5 years old that I can't comprehend, and there are no rational reasons for it. But that is what's going on these kill operations starting at 5 years old. Okay, so what's the behavior? There are no angry behaviors. There's only kind, giving, warm, caring behaviors for 40 years. So what's the behavior? Well, ironically, my family, the police, and government are good at running around saying it's your behavior, but they can't specifically state what the behavior is. Okay? Once again, my family. 29, my mother. You know what you did. My mother, 29. Your past caught up with you. Well, what is the meaning behind the sentence, your past caught up with you? It means you committed a crime or did something really bad and it's come back to haunt you, right? But when my mother was and then she proceeded to hint that I need to leave the country. Okay? So I've done something wrong and I need to leave the country. So whatever this something is, it's got to be serious. I mean, it's got to be like maybe 100 dead bodies in a room or something. Oh wait, none of it exists. I forgot. So it's my behavior, right? But when I specifically ask what I have done, specifically, okay? You say it's my behavior, so there specifically has to be something, right? She says my past caught up with me, so it has to be something, right? I mean, if my past caught up with me, what is the past? She won't tell me. My father, right? My father says, I know what I did. And when I ask him what I did, he says, well, people don't tell people what they did because they could lie. Okay? So that's my father weaseling out of his accusation. Okay? Now, it's my behavior, I know what I did, or I did something, my past caught up with me, and I need to confess. But normally, people say this is what you did and this is what's going on. Correct? Okay, so once again, we're coming back to behavior. Whose behavior is it? The guy who's sitting at his desk trying to make money and finds out that his business partner and friend have been hunting him for 25 years with worldwide groups to have him killed, and a family saying, you know what you did, but we won't tell you, and we're going to kill you, and we refuse to tell you what's going on, and we have an entire planet full of people hunting you down to kill you. Does that seem a little strange? Right? Whose behavior? My behavior for turning 29 and going something's really wrong? Or their behavior, you better give us a coerced false confession or we'll kill you? Well, why do I have to be tortured into some false confession? Right? There's got to be a reason, because if I was guilty of a crime, they would just arrest me for the crime, right? I mean, listen, if there's a worldwide campaign to kill me for some reason since 5 years old, they obviously have to have enough criminal evidence and probable cause to arrest me, right? DNA, hair samples, dead bodies. Wait a minute, none of it exists. Well, that's strange, because there's a worldwide campaign to kill me. So it's got to be about something, right? Right? So, what's it really about? Well, it's really about psychological warfare tactics. It's really about driving someone crazy to rid them of the world. But that's not how they're going to word things. They're going to word things, you know what you did, and little hinting messages that you did this, that, and the other thing, but it's never really going to be about anything at all. Just you were born, and these are government kill operations. Okay, so let me think. What are more of these horrific behaviors of mine? I go out and I take walks late at night. Okay? The police, government, and my family are stating that it's my behavior for taking late night walks. Okay? Well, let me ask you a question. Is it the behavior of some guy that's fairly nocturnal and takes walks late at night, or goes out and gets food late at night at 24-hour places or whatever? Or is it the behavior of people who point security cameras at people's houses, saying you're not allowed to leave your house after a certain time, or community groups are going to follow you around trying to make you mentally ill, torture you to death, and kill you, right? Whose behavior? My behavior, by minding my own business and going out and taking walks and being healthy, or their behavior? I tell you when you can take a walk. I tell you how long you can take a walk. I tell you what food you can eat, or you're going to be met with mass mental illness groups, right? Okay, once again, doesn't behavior apply to all of us? And you don't see me telling people what they can and can't do, what time they can take walks. I'm been told I'm not allowed to sit at park benches for longer than 10 minutes or things like that. It's my behavior if I sit at a park bench for longer than 10 minutes and try to relax. And despite the death threats, no relaxing for you, nigger. Whose behavior? It's my behavior by trying to sit on a park bench and watching mass groups come out and attack me in an anger rage, or their behavior? What else? Going to a coffee shop and sitting down, trying to relax, meet people, or get work done. I'm not allowed to go there and mind my own business and get work done because it's my behavior, because people don't go to coffee shops and sit on tables, even though there's tables and plugs there. Yeah, okay, whatever. It's my behavior because you go to a lot of coffee shops. It's my behavior because I play too much pool. It's my behavior because if a girl follows me somewhere, I don't ask her out, especially if she's showing abusive behaviors. And if I don't ask her out, I'm a mean asshole. Even if I were to pick up on the, oh gee, she followed me here, as if anyone's really going to know that. Whatever. What else? I have some lot better analogies, but I'm drawing a blank here for some of my life. Oh, I know. This is one my family really didn't like with the police. At one point I put, like the bullet hole stickers, like the fake bullet hole stickers people put on their cars. You see them all over the place. I put those on my car, and the cops were pretending like I was a public nuisance and making them hunt me down, as if they weren't smart enough to distinguish a sticker of a bullet versus a real bullet hole, as if it's never been done before, and I'm causing turmoil, right? So they're trying to say, by me doing that, it's my behavior and not their behavior of launching worldwide murder operations, saying the stickers are making them hunt me down, right? It's my behavior, right? What else? Okay, here's a good one. When I was in an Encino Starbucks about 2011, I parked my car backwards once, and now we see cars backwards worldwide or in pairs of twos directed at me, and their argument is that people never park their cars backwards in a parking spot, therefore it's my behavior. But launching worldwide campaigns to mimic and guilt you to death, parking cars worldwide backwards and backwards in twos to collapse your brain and kill you, is okay behavior. So their argument is that if you imperfectly park your car, or parking your car crooked, like gradually crooked, like let's say you're in a hurry and you pull into a spot really quick and you do a shitty parking job and run in and run out, or it doesn't even matter. Maybe you just parked your car crooked because you didn't give a shit, right? And so it's your behavior, because one time in your life you parked your car backwards, but technically it doesn't matter if you park your car backwards every day of your life. But it's not the behavior of worldwide groups trying to mimic and guilt you to death to collapse your brain and have you killed by everyone worldwide parking cars backwards and in pairs of twos backwards. But their behavior is okay, right? That's their argument. So their behavior by trying to kill you with these mimic tactics and worldwide support is okay, but parking your car backwards is your behavior, and somehow making these worldwide groups or crooked hunt you down and kill you, right? Another one. If I don't park my car in a garage and I park my car in the street, even before the signs on my car, Kevin Perlman Target, it's my behavior, and I'm making people slash my tires and break my windows and slash my top and key my car, because I'm not parking my car in the garage like a good little slave. I'm parking it out on public streets with billions of people per day, all doing the same thing. But it's okay for the world to do, except for Kevin Perlman. And if Kevin Perlman does that, then it's his behavior, and he needs to be hunted. So why is it so important that I park my cars in the garage? Who the fuck would care? Then it shifts. Well, I have two cars. I have more than one car. So it's my behavior because I have two cars. So wait. Now that's unheard of? Having more than one car per person. Having more than one car per person. It's their behavior. So there's worldwide groups to kill them, right? Can you imagine that, right? So how is it my behavior? But remember, when this behavior argument comes up, it's with people in LAPD, it's with my family, it's with government people, people sent into my life like Mike Huntley to have me killed with worldwide support, right? It's my behavior. Wait, well, I've never heard of anything where people are hunted and killed for having more than one car or not parking your car in one garage, right? So, whose behavior is it, right? No. What else? I mean, these things are endless. These things are in the thousands. But what's this really about? That's the question. Is it about some girl on IRC? No. Is it about Jen Hess? No. Is it about Tom Varley? No. Is it about Christy Reynolds? No. Is it about Kevin's an asshole and a horrible monster? Obviously not. Is it about I left the dinner table when my father told me I shouldn't at 8 years old? Very possibly. Why? Because these are psychotic murderers who will say and do whatever it takes to remove me from society. Now, it's funny because, like, I'm talking right now on the camera, and, like, a girl just walked by, and she's sort of like, she's laughing to mock me, like, look, this guy's talking into a camera, and we've made him crazy, and this and that, right, and we're getting what we want, and she's sort of laughing to try to belittle me to get reactions, right, because she wants me to go off on her or something like that, right? So it's the same passive-aggressive, we're trying to make you look crazy and then get reactions to remove you from society. Now, on the surface, it appears, sure, it appears from her that this guy's crazy and I'm laughing at him, but that's not why she's really doing it. She knows I'm not crazy. She's doing it because this is a mass campaign. It goes on all day and night since 5 years old. And they are going to try to remove me from society no matter what it takes by trying to make me look crazy, right? Now, I can't explain why nobody thinks this is wrong, why I turned 29 and found out I've been hunted since 5 years old to be killed, but it is going on. It's going on worldwide. It's always been going on since 5 years old. And the more I find out, the larger and larger groups get together. We're going to remove this guy from society. And I have a mother, father, and brother who are kind of the ringleaders starting this thing, showing that we don't like our son and we want him hunted and killed. Once again, what's it about? Well, there is no reason. The reason all comes down to I got into building cars. They didn't like it.
Parking mode on.
I got into adult websites. They didn't like it. They had people come in my life saying, let's go to strip clubs, to sort of hand me the cookie and then say I'm going to hunt you down and punish you for taking a bite of the cookie, yet the cookie isn't illegal. They just don't like it, right? They're hunting me down for not liking the type of women they like. They're hunting me down for, you name it. They're just hunting me down. But to understand the situation, you need to understand the psychology of psychotic murderers with psychology degrees. Okay? So they're going to say whatever they need to say to the entire planet. It's my behavior. I'm an asshole. I'm a monster. I did this. I did that. But none of it's relevant. It's all fiction. And even if I was an asshole, nobody would give a flying fuck. And the point is that what's going on has nothing to do with asshole. It has nothing to do with behavior. It has to do with someone not getting their way. And those someones are Anita Perlman, Ron Perlman, and Jason Perlman with their psychology degrees. Now, my mother wanted me to have the life she wanted me to have, which is some fictional fantasy of hers. And in order for her to get what she wants, she's trying to sabotage me no matter what it takes. Same with my father. My brother is trying to cover up all the crimes that he's involved in and being told to do to me. Example, going after Gregoire with a crowbar and me stopping him and trying to get me to help him commit crimes, which I refused, right? So he was manipulated by my family to try to set me up, to remove me from society. And once I started talking about that, I think people like Mike Huntley decided we're going to crank up these operations with the government because they don't want the truth coming out. And then obviously because my family all have psychology degrees working with the psychology community on lame ass things. He's an asshole. He can't see himself. He's a horrible monster. But none of it is true, and none of it would matter anyways. because once again, when we're talking about behavior, my family has been notifying worldwide groups to have me hunted and killed since 5 years old. It didn't matter what school I went to, it didn't matter what place I went to, and in order to cover up their operations, they make up lies that I'm doing these things to cover up the crimes. Does that make sense? Security guard hits me like 7 times in the back of the head to try to silence me for getting proof of the paperwork of some of the defamation from Starbucks. The judicial system says I hit him, right? This pattern of behavior has gone from stranger to stranger and person to person and people with authority in the police and government my entire life, person after person with worldwide support. And when we're talking about behavior, how do you justify their behavior? Their behavior is not justifiable. Their excuses. Well, you're exerting bad behavior because the girl we introduced you to, you didn't marry. Well, I don't fucking have to marry her, but what about the behavior of launching worldwide groups saying I raped this girl? I'm just making up a theoretical. Saying I raped this girl because I didn't marry her and date her, and it's going magically to the entire planet. You don't think that has to do with something? That their behavior is the behavior of someone just like the dog attacker I have over on video over and over? You're a snitch, I'm going to kill you, you don't talk, you better accept what's going on or things are going to get a lot worse for you. Has any relevance to the situation? Right? I mean, that's the entire argument. It's not my behavior, it's their behavior. And the more I find out, the more they hunt me down and try to kill me. Right? So whose behavior is it? Obviously theirs. Anyways, I'm going to end this one because I think I got the point across on the behavior, which is just another scam in the archive of their worldwide defamation slander to have me killed. But behind all that, there's motive and premeditation for attempted murder to off me and end my life with the psychology community and worldwide support. So it's not about typing LOL, which everyone does on IRC. It's about hunting me down and having me killed and feeding the world disinformation so that they can help. That's what it's about. Oh, and before I end this, one last thing I just wanted to say was I still have not gotten to the... I still have not gotten to all the events after 16 or around that time frame. And I'm doing that intentionally because I want to build the foundation of the amount of people sent after me as I get older and older, establishing a pattern of mass worldwide group behavior, so that when someone tries to take some incident from 30 years old or 25, you can see that they're working on me with a systematic murder template, and then trying to make it look justified, right? So, example, they're telling everyone worldwide, well, 30 years old, he did this, and he did that, and right? He did this, he did that. But what they're leaving out is the entire story. First of all, he didn't do anything wrong at 30, but more importantly, you need to see the pattern of behavior from what's really going on with them working on me my entire life since 5 years old, right? So Kevin's a horrible monster and he's an asshole and he's doing all these mean things to people and women. But yet, none of it exists. And so when I talk about all the things being done to me, you need to see that you need to see that there's motive, hate, rage, jealousy from my family who want me dead and gone, and it sure as shit isn't because of anything I've ever done wrong. Okay? It's not about my personality. It's not about anything I've ever done wrong. And you need to see the dynamics and the foundation, and from start to finish, the things they're doing to me, which they refuse to stop. And no matter how nice of a person I am, no matter how much I try to get away from it, they are adamantly hunting me since 5 years old with worldwide support. And remember that Mike Huntley was originally my brother's friend, and my brother's probably saying that I was an asshole to him, and that would be the most absurd statement you could ever imagine. The brother that runs up, keeps hitting me in the back of the head and flicking me in the ear that I stopped, is saying that I was a horrible, mean asshole to him, and he's hunting me down after the fact, 30, 40 years later, with worldwide support to have me killed with the I mistreated my older brother. Doesn't make any sense as well, right? Now remember, my brother is involved in crime after crime. I swerve, putting license plate frames on his car, I swerve and hit people at random, saying I did it, loading his trunk up with weapons and doing all this road rage shit, getting people to chase him in cars, all these things which he called runs. Now, do you really think that the guy is doing all of that with the police and my family because he thinks I'm an asshole? The shy, quiet kid, the shy, quiet, happy, fun kid is an asshole. So the guy's going out, loading his car with weapons and doing all this road rage shit and saying it's me. Do you think that that's about asshole or behavior? No, of course not. It's about a brother that doesn't like his younger brother, and he's going to have him hunted and killed no matter what the fact, no matter what, no matter how nice I am. Now, that's not the real important questions. The real important question here that you need to ask is, why would my family support the guy and tell him to hunt me down and kill me? That's the question. Because I'm an asshole? Hell, let me tell you something. If I were to tell you all the shit my brother did right now with his friends, you'd be like, that guy needs to be locked away, and he's a fucking psychotic murderer, and they wouldn't even jump to asshole. They'd just say, fucking lock him away. Okay? So there's a reason behind the endless death threats, you're a snitch, you're dead, and random strangers seeking me out over and over all day and night my entire life, especially with the more I find out. And it has nothing to do with anything about me other than what I know.